r/askreddit, what are some mysteries that have actually been solved? A man in Florida fooled people for years into believing there was a giant penguin walking the beaches. The hoax began in 1958 and was only revealed to be a hoax in 1988. And AMP, #X200B. Link. How to make gold from lead. Hundreds of years the alchemists tried it unsuccessfully. Today it is possible using a particle accelerator. However, it is far from cost efficient. Mining gold is orders of magnitudes cheaper. All you gotta do is wait for a star to explode. Who woulda thunk, the Philosopher's Stone was a particle accelerator this whole time? Whether the Titanic sank in one piece or not. Many discounted those survivors who said they saw her split in two because they had a hard time believing such a mighty ship could rip apart like that. It wasn't until Ballard and his crew found her that the truth was revealed. Also, it was dark once the lights failed. Really dark. Have you ever been on the open ocean on a moonless night? Elisa Lam, the woman found dead in the water tank on top of a hotel in Los Angeles. It wasn't a murder or ghost, she was mentally ill having a bipolar episode. She decided to go off her medication and started to believe that she was being followed. Most likely she thought she would be safe in the tank, so she climbed in but couldn't get out and died of hypothermia. Definitely not ghosts or conspiracy, just unfortunate circumstances. The rediscoveries of lost cities such as the rediscovery of the location of Pompeii in 1748, the rediscovery of the location of Herculaneum in 1709, the discovery of the location of Machu Picchu in 1911. Troy kind of fits this too, with its very explosive discovery occurring in 1870. They found the remains of the entire Romanov family, so Anastasia did not survive, and neither did any member of Nicholas II's immediate family. Petra too. The boy in the box has been identified as Joseph Augustus Sorelli, although his homicide is still an open investigation. Both parents deceased, but apparently he has half-siblings that are still alive. I still think there was some truth to the woman who said her mom bought him from his family and she beat him to death. Torosaurus was actually a mature Triceratops. Nanotyrannus was a baby T-Rex. Stygimoloch and Dracorex are younger Pachycephalosaurus skeletons. Anatodon was a grown-up Edmontosaurus, and I think there was a few others just because baby dinosaurs look drastically different than adults. I miss Brontosauruses. Brontosauri, named Lori. Shel Silverstein, anyone. Most dinosaurs would likely have made some variation of a honk/bark. Jurassic Park got it close with the sound of their raptors. Also, the moa heads have bodies, and they just look like normal guys. I personally hope that some of the smaller dinosaurs made the signature beeping noise like finches make. The luminiferous ether. It was thought to be the medium through which light would travel. Since light could behave like a wave, and waves needed a medium, it was assumed there needed to be a medium for light that was both transparent, because we couldn't see it, and infinitely rigid, because the stiffness of the medium corresponds to wave speed. Turns out, light is an electromagnetic wave that can travel through a vacuum. That stranded cosmonaut recording is 99% likely to be a hoax. Many have discredited if the brothers' technology was even capable of picking up the signal of a cosmonaut who's drifted off course, but the real smoking gun is that the woman in the audio recording is speaking in broken Russian, and the two brothers who picked up the signal had a sister who was currently learning Russian, which would explain the limited vocabulary and pronunciation issues that skeptics have pointed out. My understanding is that they found her remains and then checked her DNA against that of a living prince who was the closest loving cousin to donate their DNA. Ships and planes never mysteriously vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, sank because of rough weather, and planes dropped because they hit airborne pockets of methane and the engine stalled. Thanks to modern navigation, not a single ship or plane sank there in over 20 years. Just like quicksand, the Bermuda Triangle was one of those things I thought I'd have to worry about more in life as a kid. Kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it's all sugar. It's literally the taste you can see. Why was it ever a mystery? The bloop was figured out, it was a fucking iceberg, rip my dreams of some weird sea creature. The Northwest Passage. Successful routes were eventually found. For centuries, European explorers, beginning with Christopher Columbus in 1492, sought a navigable passage as a possible trade route to Asia, but were blocked by North, Central, and South America, by ice, or by rough waters, e.g. Tierra del Fuego. Source, link. Did we just find Noah's Ark? No, they did not. The Easter Islanders disappeared, including theories that they cut down all the trees to make rollers for the Moai. It's a totally fabricated theory by Jared Diamond, as the Easter Islands never cut down every trees. In fact, they didn't even use rollers to transport the statues, and they never died out. Their descendants are alive today, with some of them hired as tour guides on the island itself. Stendek plane crash, link. Late 1940s, a British plane flying in South America sent out the message in Morse code 3 times. Stendek then vanished. Found in the 90s to have crashed underpowered into the side of a mountain and buried in a glacier. It was a huge UFO conspiracy theory for years. Deleted. Bermuda Triangle turns out to have the expected number of mishaps at sea given the amount of shipping that traverses it. Elisa Lam could have gotten both on the roof and into the water tank by herself, and her family does not think any foul play was involved, as Elisa had mental health problems and they were used to seeing her act strange when off her medication. It was old man Jasper all along. He pretended to be the ghost because he wanted to scare all the tourists away, that way he could search for the treasure all by himself. Meddling kids. Accusing Jasper of that. Oh, that's a paddlin'. The Wilhelm scream is actually from a movie in which a guy is bitten by an alligator. The Legends of Troy. Thought to be complete fiction. Only for the actual city to be found. So the stories of the Trojan War are based in fact. Although I don't know if they have ever been able to find proof to back up any of the details of the Trojan Wars depicted in the great epics. Been a while since I tried researching it. How pillars become butterflies. When I was 12 I wanted to go university to be the first person to discover how they do it. Once caterpillars have a cocoon, they secrete an enzyme that turns them into a puddle of stem cell filled goop, and then that becomes a butterfly. So many causes for cancer were once a mystery. How could he have gotten lung cancer? He always smoked the highest quality tobacco, and lots of it. That alone should have prevented any lung problems at all. The Mary Celeste was probably abandoned as part of an insurance fraud. And nothing mysterious in that region since use of GPS became common. Didn't the crew go missing though? Source. Would be curious to read more. They recently found out who the Somerton man was. I hope one day they find the Beaumont children. The father of the Beaumont children died a couple of weeks ago without ever knowing what happened to his kids. I distinctly remember reading about the Bermuda Triangle when I was about 7 or 8 and discovering diagrams of water pulling planes out of the sky Moana style. So, it wasn't some sort of kraken that loved harpsichord music? Disney in the 80s lied to me. The bloop sound that was recorded in the Pacific Ocean that baffled scientists was finally found to be an icequake. I have a silly and weird feeling of sadness knowing this is no longer a mystery. It's been one for so long. Next you'll tell me the wow signal was just space dust.